Okay, welcome everybody around the world. Welcome to all my subscribers. I only have a few minutes, so I have to be very quick. I won't have time to read the verses, but the verses are very simple to refer to: Psalm 90, Ezekiel 38 and 39, Zechariah chapter 14. So nonetheless, this video, I want it to be universal. So whether you're Jewish from Judaism or Christian from Christianity will make a difference to make it neutral and universal. So at the end of the day, so I won't refer to any New Testament texts just to keep people from Judaism happy. Now, there are rabbis, like I said in my video the other day, there are a handful of rabbis out there on YouTube even who are teaching that this war could very well be the Gog-Magog war unfolding. As I've said in numerous videos that I've posted over the last few weeks, as these conflicts have unfolded, it really looks like, without question, Ezekiel's prophecy from chapter 38 and 39 and Zechariah 14 is coming true. The nations that are opposing and attacking Israel right now, physically attacking Israel, are the nations that Ezekiel names. He names Persia, which is Iran, Togarmah to the north, which is the north of Israel is Lebanon, Syria, and Turkey, and Armenia. These peoples genetically are descendants from Gomer. Gomer was one of the Caucasian-looking sons of Noah. So all the peoples named are actively attacking Israel now. They are geographically situated around Israel. Zechariah 14 says that these opponent nations would surround Israel and attack it. So anyways, the important thing is that skeptics are denouncing this and saying that, oh, there's aspects of the prophecies that aren't fulfilled and that people like me are mistaken. At the end of the day, I don't have time to waffle and debate. These pieces, the following pieces of prove that this is the Magog War starting, unfolding, however you would put it. However far along it is, who knows. But Ezekiel specifies that this attack would only occur after Israel is reborn as a nation and that the people of God have returned to live there. Now, this historically only took place in 1948, that event when Israel was reborn and the people gathered back to go live there. Okay, it did not take place for about 2,000 years prior during that desolation and exile. And Ezekiel mentions that after such a long period of such desolation, Israel would be reborn. The people would go back and live there. They would live peacefully without walls and bars and such. Now, the skeptics say that there's never been peace since 1948. It's easy to say that if you want to be a bitter skeptic, but at the end of the day, there has been peace. The very fact that Israel was reborn, the people did go back to live there, have gathered back there upon mountains of Israel, like Ezekiel said, is undeniable. In terms of peace, that's only in reference to one verse that Ezekiel says, where he says that the Magog army will swarm up and attack people who are living safely, peacefully in unwalled villages. Well, at the end of the day, what happened on October 7th? It's undeniable. Everybody knows that Hamas and them attacked Israel, and the people they attacked were at peace at the time. They were living peacefully. Okay, they didn't have walls and giant, barrier walls everywhere. They went and attacked them. Okay, while they're at a time of peace. And Israel right now is flourishing. It's got tons of technology, a huge army. It's flourishing better now than it has in probably even over 2,000 years. Okay, so it's undeniable. The skeptics are just being overly skeptical. Everybody's oblivious. Very few people are really catching on that this could be the Magog War unfolding as per prophecy. But thankfully, rabbis, even in strict Judaism, in Judaism, not Messianic rabbis. Some Messianic rabbis are, I'm not denying that, but very few, if any, from Christianity are saying this is the Magog War. There's some Messianic rabbis who say it, but, Orthodox and just, regular Jewish rabbis, some of them are also saying it based on the prophecies. Like I said, Psalm 90 says that the years of our generation will be between 70 to 80 years. It'll be cut off hastily and we fly away. That'd be a reference to the 75th year. The 75th year, like I talk about, is 2024, based on the prophecy of Daniel that I cover in my book. It's available on Amazon. In the prophecy of Daniel, don't have time to get into it, but Daniel says in chapter 7 that the 11th ruler of the final beast kingdom, which was Islam, the 11th ruler, who was the 10th caliph, would be in his time that the measure of 3.5 times, 1,260 years, for the final beast kingdom to rule over Israel. That's when it would be instated. The 11th caliph of Islam built the Dome of the Rock, the abomination on the Temple Mount, in 688 AD. 3.5 times later brings you to 1948, 1,260 years later precisely. 1948 was the opposite event of what happened at the start of it. At the start of it was the completion of the scattering. that occurred when the Dome of the Rock was built on top of the Temple Mount. And then at the end of that 3.5 times, the people regathered to a reborn Israel. So it's a perfect opposites, like you get with a magnet. Okay. And Daniel then asked God, how long until the end after this? God says, basically, there's an additional 75 years. The 1335th year is the end. The 1335th year equates to 2024. Okay, so according to the prophecy of Daniel, 1948 is a key date. According to the prophecy of Ezekiel, 1948 is a key date. So we know that all of these various prophecies, the 7 that I detail in my book, I don't get into Gog and Magog in my book, ironically, but in addition, the Gog Magog prophecy, these all play together and point to the same one thing: 1948, the rebirth of Israel, and 2024 being the end. Okay, the biblical chronology, 6,000 years, ends in 2024. There's tons of other evidence, but keeping it to Magog evidence, right? Israel was at peace when they attacked. Okay, it's been after the period of the reborn Israel where everybody is gathered back to live upon mountains of Israel. These are undeniable things. The other undeniable fact is the very nations that Ezekiel named are the ones attacking. Now, my next and final point is, when in the last 2,000 years, since the final book of the Bible, of the Tanakh, when it got written by the last prophet, in all the 2,300 or whatever years that it's been, since when in this time have those named nations attacked Israel? It has never happened. If you look at history, after Rome fell, part of it became the Byzantine Empire. They ruled up until the coming of Islam, when Islam conquered. There's nothing in between. Okay? You had never had a time where Persia and Iran attacked. The last time Persia had influence over Israel was with Artaxerxes and Xerxes. Okay? They helped to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. Okay? After that, in history, you went from the Medes and Persians, then you went to, you had the Greeks, you had the Romans, then the Byzantines, okay? And the empires in between, like the Sassanid Empire or Sassanian Empire, whatever it's called, none of these are Persian. These are not Persia, Togarmah, Kush, which is Upper Africa, which is mostly Islamic now. Okay, it names Libya as Put in Ezekiel's prophecy. So the very nations are all involved right now. More so, it's Iran and, you could say Lebanon. Lebanon, the country, isn't against Israel. It's just people in Lebanon. But anyways, and you could say technically the same thing for Iran, right? But it's these factoids, those 3 or 4 factoids, prove that you cannot deny that this is a fulfillment of what Ezekiel and Zechariah said. And it's happening in the correct time period according to Psalms 90 and all the other prophecies, like the prophecy of Daniel that I detail in the book. All of those factoids are undeniable. Okay? Absolutely undeniable. Even the part in Ezekiel's prophecy where it says that Magog's armies would attack from the north. Even this has come true. Most of the attacks have been from the north. Some have been from the western side, but that's within Israel. Okay, we're talking about Israel being attacked, and it's been attacked from the north. Okay? And on top of that, it also says that Magog's armies would send, showers of arrows at them and, these projectiles, but God would make them fall down from the sky. And we know the Iron Dome in Israel deflects almost all of the missiles and rockets that are launched at it, right? And that is actively happening in defending Israel. So I don't see how skeptics think they have solid ground to stand on. But if you go look at take a universal pan of the opinion out there on YouTube, very few people are recognizing that this is the prophecy being fulfilled. And it's probably because they haven't read the prophecies enough. They don't take it seriously enough, right? Israel's been in conflict with these nations for the last 75 years since the rebirth of Israel. Okay, what Ezekiel was talking about, what Zechariah were talking about, is at the end of days when this big penultimate attack would occur. So I'm sorry, skeptics, but to say that there hasn't been peace for 75 years and that's why the prophecy won't come true, that is just ridiculous. Okay, that is just ridiculous. How many times in 2,000 years do you get a reborn Israel with the people living upon the mountains of Israel again in quite relative peace in most places? How could you say that wasn't fulfilled? I mean, it's just preposterous to consider that. Okay, it's some of the best evidence to me, I think, is the fact that quite possibly actual Orthodox rabbis from, regular Judaism are out there saying that, hey, this is the Magog War starting. Okay, and like I showed from Ezekiel's prophecy, from Zechariah's prophecy, one of the two or both say that God will arrive that day that they attack Israel. Zechariah specifies that they attack Jerusalem. So they've been attacking Israel all this time in the last few months, since 2023, but also technically since 1948. There have been these, minor battles and this and that there. But one of the greatest numbers of deaths, or the greatest number of deaths since the Holocaust, was the October 7th attack. So even in that 75-year period, there's been no comparison until this last portion of time. So, anyways, skeptics will always be skeptics, but can you be a skeptic when the final event finally unfolds, right? They've already threatened to attack Israel in a big grand attack. So it's not even like we're just imagining that they're planning to. They've blatantly said that they're going to. And, the United Arab Emirates and the League of the Arab League, which comprises of over 20 nations, are all in support. They've declassified Hamas as a terrorist organization. I'm not speaking for each individual nation, but the League of Nations is in support, right? So at first they weren't utterly anti-Israel, but the problem is that you're getting all these bands of people banding together in essence against Israel. Some of them are strongly against Israel, some of them maybe less so. But that's what Ezekiel says would happen. That's what Zechariah said would happen. All these different peoples with thee, okay? He names off who it will be, and that they will attack Israel. So it's all taking place. It's all unfolding. Okay, so anyways, take care, folks, and God bless.